Hi, this is Tammy. Welcome back to my channel. This is Flosstube number 38. My channel these days is primarily about stitching. I usually say cross stitch, but I have recently rediscovered needlepoint, and I have some heart hanger to share with you also. The needlepoint isn't started yet, so I'll show you in my haul, but it is about stitching. So thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, I hope that you will like what you see and that you'll come back. And if you're returning, thank you so much for returning. I really appreciate everyone who watches my videos, and I love reading all the comments. So if you have any questions for me, please leave comments below and I will be happy to answer them. I'm going to start today with I have one fully finished. I have two fully finished items. One I have here and the other one is a picture I'll have to show you. One of my last videos I showed this was finished, Singing Sparrow by Sweet Wing Studio. It was a finished item but not yet fully finished, and I finished it today into a pillow, and here is my finish. I really like this. I went through my fabric stash looking for blue because to me this was blue. Brown is what was on top. And when I saw this brown fabric that has blue flowers in it, it just spoke to me that it needed to go with this and with all the brown in the pillow. So I don't think I'm going to put any kind of trim on it. I really like the picture. I love the way it looks right now. So I think that's it. And it's got this same brown on the back. So this was my fully finished item, finished today. The other fully finished item that I have to share with you is I finished a pillow for my friend Carolyn. She's Zook Stitches, and she films videos every Saturday, so you may be able to see it on her video because I gave it to her yesterday, and today is Saturday. I don't know when you'll be watching this, but today is Saturday. I'm going to insert a picture of it right here. And I hope you like it. I absolutely loved it. I have also purchased the kit. It is this buttons and beads kit that is called Floral Pumpkin by Mill Hill. She stitched this on light blue fabric, and I had decided, because it's full coverage, I had decided I'd just buy some light blue perforated paper because that's not what's in it. And then I finished her pillow, and I need to stitch this one that way. It was amazing and so pretty that this one's going to be that way instead. I really like perforated paper projects, and I've yet to finish a 6x6 one so I can put in one of their fun frames. This one that will not be happening with, because I love that pillow and want to do it again. So those are my only fully finished items. I have two actual finished stitching items. A mess here. This is, and I did not get out a board, so what shall I use? I'm going to use this. I don't want to get up and go get it. This is a class I took a year ago, and I finally finished this. This is a heart hanger tree. I took this class at Acorns and Threads. I have finished stitching it. The next time you see this, it will be fully finished. I finished this just a few days ago. It was a lot of fun. I loved the class. Kathy is great, the one who teaches heart hanger at Acorns and Threads. She's a great teacher, and she brings us some fun patterns. The other thing that I have finished, that hopefully will be not too long before it's fully finished, is Christmas Eve. I didn't get out my pattern, and I don't know where it is. This is by Prairie Schooler. It's Christmas Eve. This blue snowflake fabric was one of the fabrics of the month when I was in the Fat Quarter Shop Fabric of the Month Club. It's 14 count Aida. It's printed, so the back is white. This I want to finish on a wooden block. I saw this finished on a wooden block by Julie of Running with Scissors, Stitching with Jane and Julie, and I love it. It was a wooden block with a handle on top, and it was just really cool. So I have two friends whose husbands do woodworking, and I'm hoping I can talk one of them into making me a block, because the block needs to be like 3 inches thick and 6.5 by 12 or something. So it's not like I can go buy a board and do what I want to do with that. So hopefully that will I can get that wooden block soon and have that ready for Christmas. Let's see what else I have. So that's all of my finishes. I have some new starts and a new thing that I did this month. It's only new to me. My friend Carolyn, Seasook Stitches, and Robin, is her channel called Robin's Nest? I can't remember. Robin's Nest of Crafts. I will link both of them below, and I apologize, Robin, that I can't remember the name of your channel. They host a Facebook group that's called the Magazine Monthly Challenge, and they have an acrostic every month and a theme for the month. And if you've been watching me very long, you know that I just want to stitch what I want to stitch, but I thought I would try this for a month and see how it goes. I've finished a few things on it. So the theme for the month of October is Retreat. So it's to stitch on one chart, and originally this was to try to get out your pictures that are from magazines. A few of these came out of magazines, but not all of them. And then the acrostic is self-care. So you, and I did not get out all of those. Oh well. So you have a project that has something to do with the first letter. With each letter in the phrase self-care. This is what the form looks like that you can get off of their Facebook group. So my theme, the theme is Retreat. The one I chose for that is Forest for the Trees by Ink Circles. It is, it's not too far down, so I can show it to you. It's a new start I started it at the retreat. That's why I'm saying that it's my theme piece, retreat piece. This was from the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. Tracy, I can't remember her last name, but Ink Circles. This was one of the exclusive charts that we got at projects. We got the whole kit. And I started this at the retreat. Sorry for the rustling. I get my white behind here. The last time you saw this, I had all of this and this flower done, so I've really only done this little bit. I've been at Acorns and Threads every weekend this month. I think I'm only going to miss one weekend for classes and for other things. I met Carolyn there yesterday just to have lunch and give her her pillow. Clarice, who works at the shop, is stitching this 1/1. This is 32 count fabric. It was so cool. And I haven't gone that far, so I think I'm going to start it over. And I'm going to stitch mine 1/1. I mean, I like it this way, but I love things that are tiny. And so I think I'm going to do that. I haven't figured out where I'm putting these things when I'm done with them. I have piles of stuff everywhere. I have a huge mess I need to clean up. I didn't think this out very well. I forgot about the Magazine Monthly Challenge, so my stuff isn't in the right order. For the S in self-care, I have been working on, where'd it go? Okay. Doreen Jones, this B scissor case and fob. I love these. I was attracted by the colors. And when I first started to do these, I was going to participate in the Smalls Exchange at the Stitch Summit, and then I decided not to, and these didn't ever get done. So I'm working on these by Doreen Jones. So this is for self-care, the B scissor case. I did, however, I finished all the stitching part. Now I lost my white paper again. Finished all the stitching, the cross stitches, and I'm finishing the heart hanger. So there's some stuff. Oh, I've not finished with the stitching. I gotta do, I think there's, well, I can't tell by looking at that. I think there's something that goes here and here. And then this needs to be cut out or something. All my cluster blocks are done, but I haven't done any cutouts for the heart hanger. I just love this color combination. This is 28 count blue linen, and it came from 1-2-3 Stitch, I'm pretty sure, but I don't know the name of the color. And I'm just loving this. And then to go along with it, so that's a scissor case. To go along with it is a scissor fob, and this is how far I am on it. and it is almost all stitched. It's all, let's see, I think I got a stitch, maybe, I don't know. I got the leaves on there. There must be flowers that go with the leaves. These are both very quick stitches and a lot of fun to stitch. So that was the S for self-care, was the scissor case. The E, I decided to do Enchanting Winter. It's at the bottom of my pile over here. This is a project that I started by Shannon Christine. I started this on the 12 by 12 for New Year's Eve last year. And this is what it looks like, Enchanting Winter. I love the colors in this. Mine's on navy blue 14 count Aida. And this is how far I am. I picked it up, sorry for the thread. I picked it up and this part was all done already the other day, and the middle of this blue is done. So I finished the bottom and I'm working my way up. My goal for this is to work on it for 3 days. My goal for the bee scissor case was to actually completely finish it, and for Forest for the Trees is to work on it for 3 days. So for this, it's 3 days. For the L in self-care, I pulled out Lady of the Flag, and this is where I am. I'll show you sorry, my dog was barking and I got sidetracked. This is what she looks like, and this is where I'm at. My goal is 2 days, the 4th and the 11th. I worked on her on the 4th and I only had like this much done up here. I did all of this one color. On the 11th, I only did a tiny bit. So I'm going to give her probably at least one more day this month, because she did not get what I promised on the 11th. This fabric is by XG Designs. I think it's called Dark Sand, I think. And I'm loving this. Loving it. The F in self-care is actually from a magazine. It's Winter Friends Welcome. This is thanks to Carolyn Cezuk Stitches. She stitched this and I fell in love with it. She didn't put in Welcome Friends. She put this tree all the way across, so I think she has 5 trees in there. And this is from the summer 2020 issue of Stony Creek Magazine. I love Stony Creek Magazine. One thing about their projects, though, is they have a lot of backstitch, but they have really beautiful pictures. This one is going pretty fast, but I haven't backstitched anything yet. I've done this bar all the way across, although I have an error over here, and I'm working on this raccoon. And this is really only like 2 evenings of stitching. This is 28 count, maybe, linen, and it is it's not the called for, because they stitched it on a neutral. It's the same thing Carolyn used. It's like a summer sky blue or something, I don't know. So my issue is over here. I didn't go over far enough, so I've got to fix that right there. But you can see where I'm at on that little raccoon. He's looking a little weird. I need to fill in his face. My goal for this was for it to be a new start and to stitch on it for 3 days. I have stitched on it for 3 days. I've checked it off, but I'm sure it'll come out again. I mean, I haven't put it away because I want to finish that raccoon's face. It looks kind of strange. The C in self-care was Christmas Eve, the Prairie Schooler, and my goal was to work on it for 3 days. I showed you that. And that was another project, kind of like my pattern cats, that once I got going, I couldn't stop, so I just stitched on it till I was done. So that one I've checked off. My A is Autumn Fox. Where is his picture? Oh, I lost his picture. Well, you can tell by looking at him, sort of. This is a scissor fob, I think is what he is. So he's got, this is Doreen Jones. Sorry. Oh, duh, where's his picture? I'm using it for my white paper. It's right here. This is what he'll look like. He's made into a scissor fob. So, where you see these diagonal lines, once I'm done, I need to finish. I've done all the cutting for the heart hanger, but I need to do all the wrapping and finishing that part. and then where these lines are, they will fold back and make it into a little scissor fob. He was a really quick stitch, and I think he's adorable. I might have to stitch him for something else. I'm not sure what yet, but he is just so stinking cute that I love him. Let's see. The AR is Morning Glories, which is a needlepoint project that is buried. I can't get to it, and I haven't started it yet. But my goal for it will be to start it and work on it for 3 days. For Autumn Fox, my goal is to finish him and fully finish him. I also didn't pull out the E Pluribus Unum. I have not touched it since I worked on it in July. That's by Jan Hicks Creates. It's a really cool picture. And my goal is to work on it for 2 days. So that was the magazine monthly challenge. I don't know if I'll keep doing that because I really just like to stitch what I want to stitch when I want to stitch it. So we'll see. A couple of other things that I've done. Great Lakes Needleworks is having a stitch along. This pattern was designed by Sweet Wing Studio, specifically for them, exclusively for them. It's called Pass the Pie. It's very cute. They were offering kits or just the pattern, but you can only get the pattern from them. I'll link them down below. This started on the 9th. I'm sure it's all still available. And this time I didn't change any colors. I really like it all. The fabric is Vintage Country Mocha, 32 count Vintage Country Mocha. And you may notice by watching my videos that I rarely stitch on a neutral, but I really like the modeling on this fabric. And I haven't gotten very far. Here is my Pass the Pie. Started in the middle. Can you see all the modeling on here? This is so pretty. Please excuse my nails. They really need to be done, but I haven't had time. So this is Pass the Pie by Sweet Wing Studio. And my goal for the month is just to actually keep working on this. And is this the last thing? Let me see. I think it is. Another new start. You may have noticed I had a lot of new starts. I'm in a stitch group that meets in my hometown, Salem, Oregon. And I'm kind of an odd one out because most of them are sampler stitchers, and you may have noticed traditional sampler stitchers, which is not the kind of sampler that I stitch. And also, Elise has done some stuff on 56 count fabric, and at first I kind of poo-pooed that, and I was like, well, I'm never going to do that. I can't even see the threads in the fabric. But then she showed us one of the pictures that she did. It's not fully finished, but it is fully stitched, and it's like this big, and it's something that would normally be, it was so cool. And so I was quizzing her about it, and then I bought a piece of 56 count fabric from Acorns and Threads, and then I asked Elise about it some more, and I ordered some thread online, which has not arrived yet. But yesterday when I was at Acorns and Threads, yes, I was there yesterday and today, I picked up a spool. It's called, I'm going to totally destroy, what is it called? Something de soie, sulfine, surfine. It's a very thin thread. So this is it. This is, they didn't have very many colors at Acorns and Threads, and I did order several colors that will be here sometime next week. Of course, I ordered some purples, but I wanted to try this, so I went ahead and bought one. Elise suggested that I do a one color thing and make it small and don't expect too much too quickly because it is hard to stitch on. So I chose to use this pattern from Luminous Fiber Arts. It's called Stitcher. It's one color, it's not very big. And I am stitching it on 56 count tabby cat linen called Cornish Mizzy. It's very, very lightly modeled. My friend also told me to be careful with the modeling because it will make it hard to see on the high count fabric. And I have, you're not going to believe how many stitches are in there. because it doesn't look like much, but I have 30 stitches. And there they are. They're very, very, very tiny. This is 56 count, stitched 1 thread over 2 fabric threads. And I'm going to try it. I told myself when I was trying to do this last night, okay, you can do 10 stitches. I did 10, and I'm like, you could do 10 more. You can do 10 more. So that's how far I got, is I got 30 stitches. I am anxious to see this done. I wish my purple had come, or that I could have found purple at Acorns and Threads. So maybe this will be a gift for somebody, and I'll have to stitch it again when I get purple. Who knows? Maybe I should finish one 56 count before I talk about starting another one. I also the same day bought a piece of 46 count. Why I didn't start with that one first, I don't know. So far the highest I had stitched on was 36. A year ago I would have said I'm not stitching on anything higher than 32 count, and it better be even weave. So I'm doing a lot of stuff on linen, and I'm going on higher counts. Who knew? I still don't believe it. But we'll see how far I get on that one. It wasn't, I was wearing these. This is the way I stitch when I'm doing on something tiny. And I was using my magnifying light too. So it was double magnified. These are 3.25. I don't know if I can get them any stronger. I have the head thing with all the different pieces in it, but it's kind of heavy, and putting it over my glasses, it gives me a headache really quick, so I don't use it. So we'll see. I might have to try something different. So that's all that I've stitched on since my last video. And let's see. I have just a little bit of haul to show. I'm not trying to remember when I was there last weekend what I bought. I don't know. But I have a few things I bought yesterday and today. One of the things I saw when I was roaming around the store was this little box. I just love it. It's by Joseph's Workshop. It says made in the USA. And they had Acorns and Threads. Kesslin is a designer, and they had a Kesslin pattern in here, and I couldn't find the pattern, but I will stitch something and put it in here. Something for fall because of the acorns. I just love it. The workmanship is amazing, and it's beautiful. I like to do 3D finishes. You guys know that. And then I love Jeanette Douglas, and they had Chubby Fox. Isn't that cute? I love foxes. I think he's adorable. That should be a quick stitch. There's no specialty threads. It's her Chubby series. She started, I think, with Chubby Bunny or Chubby Bird. Those are the other two I know about. Those didn't do anything for me. But this Chubby Fox, and it's finished on a wooden paddle. I think it's really cute. So I got that. I love Satsuma Street. And I saw this. I don't know when this came out. Does it say? Oh, it says 2018, so it's been out for a while. It's called Cactus Cat by Satsuma Street. I love bright colors. I'm trying to decide what color I'm going to stitch it. This is not in something, but it's shiny, so I'm trying not to get the glare. I don't know if I'm going to stitch it on that color, although I probably should because it's a desert scene. I should at least have that color somewhere. I think this is beautiful. This is all DMC threads, so I'm not sure when I will start that, but I really like that. And I think it will be a fast, fun stitch. And then today I picked up some heart hanger patterns. I've seen this finished. I've been taking some heart hanger classes. Not that I need the classes, but it's fun to take classes, and I always learn something from Kathy. And she has this finished. This is so cool, and I didn't realize that Janine had the pattern until today. And I decided that I need it, so I'm going to be stitching this at some point. And I picked up this pattern. I just think it's really pretty. So I don't know when I will do that either. And then I mentioned needlepoint. I don't know what sent me down the needlepoint rabbit hole. I used to do needlepoint Years ago, I taught needlepoint, and when I taught it, I just did decorative stitches because that was fun. And one of my whips is my oldest whip, I think, is one that I used for a class piece, and I never actually finished stitching the background. Well, now when you do needlepoint, there is counted needlepoint, which is what's going to be one of my things on the magazine monthly challenge. But they buy painted needlepoint canvases. I need to find my paper again for this, so you can't see through it. Painted canvases, which are pretty expensive. I'm not sure of the why on the expensive part, but they are really expensive. And I discovered some YouTube video popped up in my feed, and I watched it, and it sent me down that rabbit hole. I think it was, there's two shops, one in St. Louis and one in Michigan, and I can never remember the name of the town. It's by Detroit. Excuse me. They do a YouTube video together. They call it a podcast. I think they do it every week. I just discovered them. And they sent me down that rabbit hole, so then I got on, I got on the internet looking for needlepoint supplies. There happens to be a shop in Portland. So I went there last week. It was an amazing shop. This is what I came out with. Oops. Keep the paper on the back so you don't see through it. It's a zebra. This is a painted canvas. Nothing's stitched on it yet. Isn't it fun? I love how the sunglasses reflect the African sunrise or sunset, whatever that might be. So I thought this would be really fun to stitch. And then the guy's name is Corey that owns the shop. I talked to him about different kinds of decorative stitches, because needlepoint you can do just a half cross, which in needlepoint it's called either a continental or a basket weave stitch. But you can also do a bunch of decorative stitches. So I talked to him about that. I have a practice canvas that I'm going to practice decorative stitches on before I put them on here. And then these are my threads, which it's hard to see them because they're in Flossaway bags, but they're all silk, different kinds of silk. These are yarn. This is water lilies, which is, I think it's cotton, maybe by Caron, water lilies. But then the rest are all yarn. So those are my threads for that zebra. I can't wait to start him, but I don't want to start him until I know a little more of how I'm going to do him. There was some very, very fun canvases there. Very, very, I mean, threads. So many beautiful threads and fibers. And when you walk in, he has this large table, like a dining room table, that has all of these finished items on it, but also it's got chairs all around it. The first thing I asked was if he did classes, because I love to do classes. Even if I don't actually need them to learn something, I like the class environment. And he said, no, I don't teach classes, but I'm here all the time, and I will help you anytime you need. You can come, you can just come sit and stitch. And there were two ladies who were sitting and stitching. They were both very nice and asked me to come back and stitch. So I'm sure I will do that at some point. I want to go back and get some more stuff. Which is kind of silly because I haven't started this yet. So I just, you know, another new hobby. I need to buy everything in the world there is to go with it, because that's the way I am. It's not a new hobby like a whole new thing. It's needlepoint. It's just another kind of stitching. But I don't do anything halfway. So it's crazy. It's really crazy. I didn't go back yet. I wanted to go back yesterday and I didn't. I really need to at least start this before I go back. But he also finishes needlepoint, and he had some stunning finishes. I want to go back and ask him if he will teach me some finishing of needlepoint. Like, they were done in ways I've never seen before. I don't know if he will, because he finishes needlepoint for people. But you may remember I'm starting a finishing business, and I want to expand that to whatever kind of stitchery all of my customers might have. And what I saw when I walked in was a round tiered table. His furniture all looks like it was in my grandma's house. It's just really cool stuff. a round tiered table that had these round, they were probably 5-inch rounds, Christmas ornaments. I feel like they were Santa's, and they were beautifully stitched, and they were finished 1.5 or 2 inches thick in a round on a candlestick with a big bow. They were just stunning. And I don't know, I didn't like pick them up and touch them, so I don't know what he puts in between, because they weren't stuffed like a pillow. So I don't know if he just buys a big styrofoam round or what he does, but I'm going to ask if he'll share some of that with me. He might not, as I said, because he does finishing, but it doesn't hurt to ask. So that was my fun trip to a new place. And I can't remember, and I don't have any of it here. A couple weeks ago, I discovered the quilt shop that's up in the Portland area. It's called Pioneer Quilts, and that was amazing also. So at some point, I'll have some fun stuff to show you. Hopefully finishes of things that I picked up while I was there. That's all of it for my stitching. My plans for the rest of this month anyway is I'm going to attempt to stitch on things that are on the magazine monthly challenge. They're all things I want to stitch on anyway, but I also have other things calling to me. So, but then I've been trying not to start too many things unless I'm finishing some things. I do have 2 of my own things that I didn't fully finish. But I did finish, and 1 that I fully finished. But that doesn't mean I should start 20 things. So, and speaking of starting things, in the month of December, talking with one of the friends in our stitching group that meets on Thursday nights, she wants to do kind of like her own Advent thing. She and me, like many cross stitchers, I have a whole bin. Actually, I have 2 bins in this thing behind me that are things that are either kits that I've bought or patterns that I have kitted up. It means I want to start them, and you know I love starting new things. I call myself a serial starter. And so what Elise said that she was going to do for herself is to wrap up 12 of them and use them kind of like an Advent thing. And we're still ironing out the details, but 12 days of December she will open and start those things. And I told her I would love to do that, but I hate to wrap presents. I don't want to wrap them. So I didn't know what I was going to do about that. She said she would wrap them for me, so I don't have to. I need to put them together and take them to her, and that'll make it even more fun because I will have no idea. I'm putting them all in the same size. Oh, I don't know where they went, but the mesh zipper bags from Amazon. I have 12 that are all the same size, so I won't be able to tell nothing will be a different size. So I thought that would be a lot of fun. I think I'm going to do that instead of the 12 by 12 for New Year's Eve. 12 by 12 for New Year's Eve was fun because I did it with my group of Stitchy Pals from the Midwest, and it was fun. It was really exhausting because I did start a new project every hour for 12 hours and try to stitch on it, and my eyes only last so long, so it was really hard to, like halfway through the day, really hard to keep going. So I thought this would be more fun to do. We'll see how that goes. So we're thinking about maybe if we start on December 1st, open one every other day, so you have 2 days to stitch on it before you open the next one. I think that could be fun. Or if she wants to do one a day for 12 days, that's still better than one every hour like I did last year. So that's my plans for December. November, I don't know what my plans are yet. I'm going on a stamping weekend with my sister. We're going to the coast for a weekend. Other than that, I'm not sure. I don't know if I'll do the magazine monthly challenge next month. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how it goes this month and how I feel about it, and what the theme and the acrostic both kind of spoke to me, retreat and self-care, and that fit in really to things I wanted to stitch anyway. So we'll see. So that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If there are things you would like to see a finish with me video on, like I did a block finish, my last video was finish with me, and I did the block finish with the foam core board. Carolyn suggested when I did her last pillow, maybe I wanted to do a finish with me for that. The timing didn't work because of when I was working on it and what was going on in my house, but I do have another one to finish for her, so it might work. We'll see. But if there's anything else you would like to see how it's done, how is that finish done, I would be happy to do it on video. And since we're coming on the end, well, it's October, so this year will end in a few months. Speaking of finishes, I have things that I finished last year that I can show you the types of finishes that I do. So if there's something you want to have finished, you can get some different ideas of different ways to finish things. I like to finish on wood. I like soft finishes, but I really enjoyed finishing on wood, which means mounting the project onto mat board and then usually painting the wood and doing it that way. So let me know in the comments down below. And again, thank you so much for watching, and happy stitching.